Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Snyder of Snyder Law. I'm an estate planning and elder law planning attorney here in Irvine, and I help parents, seniors, and veterans plan to protect what matters most to them, their families, their dignity, and their legacy. And today I want to talk to you about estate planning really being about creating a wagon and organizing things in your life. And this is an analogy that I use with all my clients that I talk to because I think it's really appropriate. It helps me. I'm a visual learner, and I like to think of life in pictures, and this is just one of them. So if we think about creating an estate plan like creating a wagon, I think it will make the process a little bit more easier to understand and approachable. First, I want you to think about going through life and collecting things. What do we do when we collect things? We hold them in our hands and walk through the pathway of life, just adding and loading on more and more things. If you think about a picture of yourself maybe with a bunch of cardboard boxes and that are teetering as you go through life, all it's going to take is for you to step into a pothole for you to fall down. And what happens when you fall down? Things become a mess. What are these potholes I'm talking about? Well, they're the eventualities of life, the ones that we don't like to talk about. Becoming sick and incapacitated, or of course dying. These are things that we don't like to talk about, but these are things that will happen on our journey through life. And sometimes we can see the potholes ahead and we can be proactive and take some action, and we can walk around them. But a lot of times we don't see the potholes because we're being distracted, or they just pop up and we step into them, and that's when things can become a mess. So what can we do instead? Well, instead, we can embark on some estate planning and build a wagon. The wagon I'm talking about is kind of like the red flyer wagons, the radio flyer wagons, a red one I had as a kid. And my youngest, Ryan, has a Fisher-Price model that he would wheel up and down the sidewalk in front of our house. That's the kind of wagon I'm talking about, because it's much easier to go through life with your things by putting it in a wagon than it is carrying it in your hands. So now we're wheeling the wagon through life, and we have everything in our wagon, so when we step in that pothole, what's going to happen? Yes, we're going to trip and fall. We're going to get sick. We're going to get an illness, become incapacitated maybe, or pass away untimely. But we're not going to create a mess, because all we're going to do is drop the handle of the wagon. And we're going to name in our planning somebody else to pick up that handle and continue to wheel the wagon down the pathway of life that we've created for that wagon. So we know where that wagon is headed. We know who's going to be pulling it. We know if we're going to be pulling that wagon alongside somebody else, or it's going to be instead of us. So that is the concept of building a wagon. But that's just one part. So we know it's a better way to carry things through life. But we have to make sure that the wagon's organized, or else you're like my 6-year-old Ryan when he was 3, wheeling this wagon up and down the sidewalk with all of his earthly belongings, which at the time consisted of a lot of action figures, stuffed animals, and a couple Matchbox cars. There's a big heap of things, so anytime that he hit a bump in our uneven sidewalk, things would fall out, and then you can see the trail of toys down the sidewalk. We don't want that with your wagon. We want to make sure that things are organized nice and neat and tight inside, so that if you go on a bumpy road in life, things aren't a mess and falling out. That defeats the purpose. So doing your estate planning is 2 phases. 1, making sure that you create the wagon. That's going to be the right wagon for you for the road that you're traveling in life. 2 is putting things in the wagon and organizing it. So your different tangible things that you own, personal belongings, accounts, your homes, investments, things like that, all go in the wagon, including intangible things like medical decisions that you need to make, the love that you have for your family, legacy that you want to pass on, dreams that you hope your family will achieve. That all goes in your wagon, and you organize it. And then you can confidently wheel it through life knowing that bumps in the road aren't going to disrupt things, you stepping in a pothole isn't going to disrupt things, and you have your plan in place. Now, the last part of this is that you need to update your wagon over time. Why? Because the road's going to change. There's going to be a bend in the road. You're going to anticipate an event happening. You can see it on the horizon, and you know that your wagon isn't equipped to go over that terrain. So you might need to retrofit your wagon. Also making sure that everything's working in your wagon, that the wheels aren't falling off, it doesn't need to be greased and things like that. So we need to put some maintenance in the wagon, and so you need to do that over time. And of course, ensuring that the things inside still make sense and they're still organized the way that you want them to be. So creating your wagon, organizing it initially, and then making sure that you're maintaining that wagon over time is a great way to do your estate planning. So, as we tell all of our clients, what's in your wagon? And I want you to think about that today and look at the wagon that you might have. Does it need some retrofitting? Are all the things in the wagon that need to be in the wagon? Have you included everything? Is it a mess and unorganized in your wagon? And if it's you that's looking at it and you know what's in there, does somebody else, the person that's going to be pulling your wagon, do they know what's in that wagon? How organized is it? Or do you even have a wagon and you need to start from scratch and create one? So that's my thought for today, your nugget of knowledge. Estate planning is just like building your wagon. I hope that was helpful and valuable for you. If you need some assistance in creating a wagon, organizing your wagon, or reorganizing your wagon, please let me know. It would be a privilege to help. If you have questions about what I talked about today, just let me know. You can put it in the Facebook feed. You can connect with me offline. Just go to our website at www.snyderlawpc.com and you can get us there. 949-333-3702, of course. Happy to chat with anybody to answer any questions you might have. Because we want to demystify the estate planning process for you. This doesn't have to be a challenging process, and want to be able to be helpful for you. So hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Again, my name is Kevin Snyder of Snyder Law. I'm an estate planning attorney, and I help families protect themselves and their loved ones for the future. All right, be amazing, everyone. Take care.